So that you posted, you must have posted it. Yeah. There is, yes, right.
And they don't appraise. It has to be appraised. We've been in
It is the short spot, but I don't know. There was something.
It had been 5 years.
No, it's like this, but it was someone sells the income. Yes.
Whose property? Gary told me that you said it. It's usually Jonathan Ross. It's the conversation. Somebody was ahead of it.
We probably want to get started. So what document is any kind of
We got people on
any kind of sufficient information for them?
Okay, folks, I'd like to call Brook Township Planning Commission meeting of February 23rd to order. There are a few people that are attending through Zoom. Somebody is-
7 o'clock.
Our first item of business is to approve the minutes from the January 26th, 2023 meeting. If you had a chance to look through them, if there are no changes or corrections or additions, I'd like to ask for a motion to approve the minutes from January 26th.
I'll make the motion. Second.
Any questions on the minutes? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Okay, we'll now go to open forum, and this is for items that are on the agenda. And I believe we have one item on the agenda, and that is the Honeybrook Community Library. So if there's no desires to speak about the library from the public, and we'll move on to that. Anyone on Zoom have any questions or have any comments, public comments that are related to the library? Hold on. Okay.
Yeah, hi, good evening.
All right, thank you. Okay, so we'll move on to informal sketch presentations by the Honeybrook Community Library. I think we have some folks here this evening.
Thank you very much.
You bet.
Do I need to show this over here for the Zoom?
If you could, if you want to move the tripod somewhere here in the center.
First of all, I guess, does everybody know where the library is located? Okay. On the town everything, just want to make sure that's covered. Good evening, everybody, thank you.
How about if you set it up like kind of right here and see if you can.
See that?
Yeah, they can see it, they can see
So
it.
the commission can see it.
They'll see it on Zoom. You want?
You okay?
Yeah, that's right here.
Right here.
I've seen it, so I'm good. If I put it here, then maybe everybody over there can
Oh, that's Liesel.
see it.
I would just like to start the introduction. I'm Rocky Evento, I'm the president of the Honeybrook Library as a trustee, and we are really excited about the journey we're going on. And it really starts here among you all. And it's been a long journey. So I just want to give a little bit of introduction. We've, over the past year or several years, we developed plans for expansion of our public library, which, as you know, if you're down, have you seen it, it's kind of small, 3,700 square feet. It has up the books in it. And so we have a little space in there. And we're very fortunate because we received a grant from the Pennsylvania Department of Commerce and Education to help us with the expansion efforts. Tonight, our trustee Stacy, who's in front of our developmental committee, has done a lot of work with architects and our engineers starting this process. And today we're going in front of you to show you where we are, what it looks like, and of course to solicit any questions you might have concerning it. But we're very excited about this addition to this community. It desperately needs that expansion effort. So I'll leave it over to Stacy, who brings a wealth of experience and knowledge. Some of you already know her already.
Yeah, I already know some people from the, asked a couple from the planning commission from way back when I was on it.
And so we'll proceed.
Okay. Just to give you a little bit of background, I'm on the board of trustees, as Rocky said, and Stacy Papillon is my name, and I'm head of the strategic development committee. The first drawing here, I just want to do a quick, this is what the library footprint looks like right now, and Route 10 is on the, over here, on the one side, so the planning commission real quick. We did give the planning commission drawings of the preliminary drawings. So just to give you a background, we did have an architect who helped us with preliminary drawings. She can no longer help us, so we're trying to get another architect. We do not have like land development plans yet, so what you saw was really just the architect's preliminary rendition. But we just kind of wanted to let you know we're starting to work on this, and you know, if you have feedback, please let us know. What we are planning to do, the one I showed up top is really just the outside. It's going to look, we're going to try to make it look, you know, similar to the you know, to what it looks like. It's not gonna be a drastically change. It'll hopefully be aesthetically pleasing building when we're done. So this drawing really shows a little bit better what we're gonna do, and I'll come all around. So over here, we're gonna have a community room, which we can have community meetings with a lot of community groups that meet at the library, and we're squished in on a little table, so that'll be great. We also are gonna put a children's and a youth area, and a quiet meeting area on this one side, and a little bit better facilities for that'll also give a little better facility for the folks that work there. Again, for everybody else here, these are the two major additions that are gonna head out towards, be kind of sticking out from the existing building toward 10, a community building, and a youth child's area, and a reading area. That's what we're planning to do. Like I said, we're trying to get an architect, as we kind of jokingly, fondly say on the planning commission, on the board of trustees, that where the good news was we got a grant to help finance this. The bad news, we got a grant, we got to get going. So we're trying to work, we're all volunteers like you guys are, trying to help the library and get some other consultants on board to get a land development plan, which is probably more what you guys like to see, because I understand from being an environmental engineer, being on the planning commissions, there's always a lot of concerns about, how that building's going to affect the property, stormwater, setbacks, and all that kind of stuff. So we will be doing all that. We're using McCarthy Engineering, and they are familiar with the township codes, and so we're just got them on board, and I hope to get them going soon. Did I say anything, Rocky?
Are there any questions?
Well, I think something we maybe want to talk about and give them some direction is that whether we'd be willing to allow them to proceed as a minor land development submission as opposed to.
Oh, right, yeah, that's what Mike Reiner mentioned, yes, you're hoping to go.
So if that would be something that we would recommend, that we could get behind and recommend to the supervisors.
Why would that be a major subdivision? I don't understand.
There's, generally, every land development plan is a major land development unless the planning commission determines that it can be qualified as a minor land development. So in which case, many times in the past where it's been an addition to a property that's already being developed, or it's a small scale development. We've done minor land developments for some of the Amish run businesses over on Westbrook Drive and things like that. There's kind of simpler standards that they're required to comply with based upon their level of land development. And the other difference with minor land developments, generally landscaping is simply at the discretion of the planning commission. They don't have to go through the whole calculation of the full amount of landscaping that's required. So knowing, if you guys know the library in your head, they've got some of the woods surrounding it. But if you have any general landscaping comments that you want them to take forth to bring into their initial land development submission, you could do that. So yeah, they're just looking basically for a consensus that they could submit this as a minor land development plan. You'll see this again when they do their formal submission. And just if you have any general comments about the development, landscaping on the plan, she does have, they're expanding the parking lot to provide additional parking back there. So just get any other general comments about their proposal.
Thank you. Yeah, this one shows outside, a little bit already of an expansion. I think it's about 3,000 square foot.
Oh, the extension?
No, the extension is 3,000. out and about.
Yeah.
We're about doubling the space, right?
But not quite doubling.
Not quite doubling, yeah. So here you can see, is where the parking lot's going to be expanded a little bit. There's already mostly, there's some with more, some new impervious. Well, of course, the road commission isn't new impervious. And a little bit more here. Yeah, move some of the sheds, in there, there's sheds in the back. They're going to be moved over to the sides. So there's going to be a buffer, we know there's a house back here. To show the rest of the people. What I was showing was that purple part is where we have to put like additional impervious to expand the parking lot. And there'll still be a shed and, you know, parking for the buggies and such.
Our architect did, it's a very efficient design, it's 2 wings that extend out towards 10. And it doesn't produce any structural impact on the center core building. And it's very efficient in terms of, we're very conscious of costs. And so it's a very cost-efficient design as well. So, but our architect, who did all this work pro bono, by the way, a lot of work, did us a very, she did a very good job with setbacks and all that kind of information. We want to go to the next level of more detail, we're going to do that. But we thought we'd let you know where we are at this point. We're very pleased about the structure and the design approach. We had a consultant, we paid a little money for, who gave us the requirements for a library size with this population, with this size. And so we took a lot of those requirements, the requirements document, gave it to our primary architect, and came up with this design. And we're pretty happy with it.
Did you measure setbacks and we shouldn't have a problem?
She did some preliminary setback stuff, not to the level that I think you require, but we're
Yeah.
going to do that in more detail.
I did check this, before, we don't have McCarthy like totally, we have him on board, we haven't gotten to it. Land, look at that kind of stuff yet, but I did a preliminary look. Some of the things are, I think we're fine on the front, the back, and the sides. The little bit of the odd part of this is that the library is actually on 2 tax parcels that connect, so I'm not sure how we need to figure out with McCarthy if we're gonna meet the side setbacks, otherwise we have to go to the hearing board, that.
You probably just consolidate the lots into one as part of this plan.
You can do that?
Yeah, you
Okay.
can do that, and then that way that middle line won't matter.
That's the only thing I was concerned about.
Yeah.
I did some measurements, so I know.
Yeah, no, Michael and I talked about that
Okay,
earlier,
good. Yeah,
and, yeah, we were just consolidating
I was
those
a
two.
little confused at first, but then I finally figured out there's 2 tax parcels together, so, anyway.
Can you do that, they can do that as part of the minor land development plan? You can do consolidation at the same time.
Yeah, it's
So
a,
is that like a process that we need to go through, or?
McCarthy will know.
yeah, McCarthy can show it
Oh,
up,
okay.
the land development plans, and we'll just have a new deed recorded. Afterwards, you can certainly do it beforehand,
Right.
also, either way would be fine, so.
That sounds
Then
good.
McCarthy gets started, they can give us a call, we can talk to them about it.
Okay. Great.
And then the only other thing, just. if-
We're okay with minor, that we will support a minor.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, my only other thing would just be to check their impervious coverage. To make
Right,
sure
yeah,
you're not over on that.
Mike said we just, I think we're okay, but we will be checking that for sure, whether we're less.
Yeah, consolidating 2 parcels together.
Yeah, because
You know,
it's
analyze that
parcel
concept.
1.2 acres. So I think we'll be okay.
Okay.
But we have to check on that because it is parking lot all the way to the back there, so we're checking that.
Right.
We haven't checked that yet.
Are you changing the parking lot back?
We're expanding it a little bit where the purple is. Right now, it's not too much, it's a little bit further than it was. The spaces like here where the new spots are, I think is already impervious where the sheds and things were. And then, where the basic paper and stuff, so we're gonna expand.
Levi, it looks like they're doubling their parking from 20 to 40.
Yeah. I met with Mike Reiner last week, and he was very helpful, and I remember the code somewhat, but, it's been a while, so we looked at things like parking and stuff like that, so I think we're good on that.
Stacy, I know you've been doing some fundraising and then the grant was about 1.1 million. Do you have enough money to proceed with this?
We had some monies raised already, and we do know that we need more money to finish it, like do the finishing inside. We have our official estimates, we think are pretty close, but we don't, Rocky's very sweet now, but we probably don't have like every single dollar right now. But we are going to be doing it in phases, and we have like the fundraising committee going. So we think it will be okay in the long run. I know that, some other places in the county are a little bit stuck on having funding at this time. So we are, I think that, we did get the money, I think that amount of money a little sooner than we thought, but we know we have to get some more. We're doing good, but
We have a costing engineer projected $1.5 million. It's a three-phase approach. The primary phase number one, is the community center and the internal library itself, to include the parking area as well. Phase two is the children's area, and phase three is the reading room. And so we broke it up into phases. Of course, engineer gave us a total of $1.5 million. We got a grant from the PA grant, about $1.1 million, and we intend to fundraise the difference through our capital campaign effort. So that's how we're proceeding along.
And we'll probably still need like additional monies for the finishing the inside,
Is that a prevailing wage job?
I'm sorry.
Is that a prevailing wage job or no?
Yes, if you believe it is.
I'm sorry.
The prevailing wage job.
Yeah, absolutely. The PA grant money is prevailing wage.
There's certain requirements we had to sign a contract, the library director, Jennifer Spade, and Rocky signed a contract for the grant. There are certain requirements like prevailing wage, but if we use other monies, we have more flexibility. So, we'll be going out for a general contractor at some point in time to get things started. They'll be required to do that kind of thing. And we still need to finish inside, so we'll be looking for the community to help if they can do things like, we've got someone building a sign for us, and so any kind of in-kind contributions or materials when we start finishing inside will be very welcome, and we'll be advertising that. So.
Is this being designed and eventually built with a longer range that, what if you wanted or needed to expand this?
I think that's what the study involved. We had, as Rocky said, we paid a consultant to do a use study, and I'm not super familiar with it. Are you familiar with the use study? I think they looked at future projections, right? Like what we need now, what we need in the future. But
And especially for like a community room, that we don't have anything like that.
the expansion is gonna be for like 70 people, but I don't think you can 70 here.
It's 1650 for the community room, 1,650 square feet.
Yeah.
Which is a good size for what we're, for the community.
Yeah.
So what would you envision happening in the community room?
It could be, like a lot of the community, like some of the community spaces, like, the firehouse, the library can rent it out, or, right now, I just stopped in to pick these up, and the chatty crafters are all jammed in a little table there, so if it's open, they can use that. Story time, be more room for that. Well, that could be in the children's area, of course, but, yeah, it would be for routine library use meetings. There's a lot of groups like the Chatty Crackers and what else?
Dungeons and Dragons.
We got the, Dungeons and Dragons, that's what I was trying to
That's a
think
pretty
of.
great group. I've been in there when they've been in there.
Yeah, and that, or like I said, we can lease it out for.
Also for our children, summer programs as well as all school programs. We offer a tremendous opportunity for reading programs and science for kids, hands-on science, which we can't do in the very confines that we have. So it really multiplies the need in the community for that. And also the meeting room for people to meet, like we're meeting here, it's going to be that kind of function. So it's a very powerful addition to the library and to the community. And we're kind of excited about all that stuff.
Are you gonna be expanding the space? Like right now, I think there's what, 3 computer terminals in there, 3 desktop?
Yeah, there's gonna be they are expanding the computer part.
Commission only have any choice, virtual reading takes the place of books anymore, doesn't it?
Yes, it does, yeah. Yeah, and a lot, I've used the Chester County Library e-books system a lot lately, so. Do you remember, Rocky, where the computers are?
Where the computers are now?
Like
Is that what the question is?
Where they're gonna be,
In those areas there, it's gonna be a wireless system.
yeah.
And so there's gonna be little areas where people can bring their laptops and.
But
I think
we're still gonna have like, we're still gonna have computers available, because we know everybody doesn't have computers, and so,
In that green area, the reading area, and then the addition, it's gonna be an area too where people can work and stuff. We're also gonna have a room dedicated for business people to come and they wanna hold a meeting or do something. It's not gonna be large, but it's gonna be an area where they could, sign up to use. And so it's gonna be a nice little area, it's gonna be really add a lot of dimension to, a library is not just about books. It has an incredible palette of other things that happen in there. And we're going to be able to capture all that.
I think these colored dots, which I can't read on the scale, I remember, will show like where computers are.
Is
You guys have
That's a hard reading chart, it's hard to read, you know.
The file, you can blow it up, yeah.
For those 2 extensions, the new part, are they gonna have windows facing that courtyard?
Well, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
we're gonna look at, because windows and, the library part, yes, we'll have windows. We're looking at doing windows that are higher up so that, when you do have books, and this also is gonna be a showcase, the community room for some of the historic artifacts that people have been giving us. So there will be windows, but not like big giant picture windows, because windows and books don't get along too well.
So do you have anything planned for that courtyard in terms of ground space?
No, it's just gonna be, just a little courtyard, yeah, that's all. Yeah, it's not, it's just gonna stay grass, I believe, right?
Actually, probably it'd be a nice little courtyard, but I don't think we're at that point yet to look about that.
Yeah, I mean, right now we have the pavilion.
The question of
Pavilion
windows,
and picnic tables, it could be something like that, but there's a kind of a finishing thing that we still need to sit down with the architect and with the library director and figure out some of those details yet.
windows in a library are kind of, it's in competition with your bookshelves.
Yeah.
So you have to have like either higher windows, like, so that you have your bookshelves out there. But if you have a window, you can't put your bookshelves close to that. So it's a trade-off that you have to have in the library. We hope to get to all those details though.
So you have some historical items that we're going into?
Yeah, over the years, people have given us historic items for the towns, the town and township, and,
I actually have some historical items I'd like to donate to you guys as well.
oh, sure, yeah, we're gonna, Jennifer has them stashed somewhere, the library director, I think there are some things that are already kind of on display, and they think we'll be working with the Friends of the Library, and maybe get someone to help us to, display that stuff better, but, yeah.
When was the original library built?
Well, the building was built, it was previously Jehovah's Witness and I think like a doctor's office, so it was built in the 70s, I believe, and then the library took over. The library used to be at a different location. The library took over and they renovated it to be a library. Yeah, it seems to be, pretty solid. I mean, we'll be looking at things that need to be upgraded, like, the HVAC system, needs to be upgraded and stuff like that, but, that'll be part of the McCarthy engineering, help us figure out all that stuff. We do realize that we have an on-lot septic system, we do realize we have to go through the evaluation for that, and, we understand that we might have to put a new system in, or even, I know from my own personal environmental experience that, there are places that those have been put in, 20, 30 years ago, and they're failing, so you have to switch to a sand lot, so we have that with the costing, in case we have to do a sand mound system, so stuff like that, trying to get our ducks in a row, so.
Yeah.
Yep. And obviously, when McCarthy really gets started, they'll catch all those things. Being on the planning commission and working for an environmental firm, I guess, know enough to be dangerous, I guess.
Any other questions? Okay, need anything else from us?
No, we appreciate your time and getting it in this week, and just like I said, we want just to see what we're doing and get feedback, and we appreciate all the questions and feedback that'll help us think through stuff, so thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Rocky, what's your last name, so I can put it in the minutes?
Acento, A-2-B's-E-N-T-O.
A-B-B.
A-B-B-E-N-T-O. It's a good Irish name.
Thank you.
Real first name is Gennaro.
I'll just spell Rocky.
How do you say that?
Gennaro. But they call me Rocky.
All right.
Nickname I got in the Air Force.
Okay,
So we were happy to come in front of you. We want this to be a success in the community. And so any help we can get from you all, we both is appreciated.
no zoning hearing or zoning hearing or conditional use applications, no other business. Now we're to the open forum on any other matter. I just remind everyone that to keep your comments to 3 minutes. If there's anyone that would like to address the planning commission, now's the time. Anyone online that has anything to address the planning commission on any topic? Not hearing anything. Then our next action item is to adjourn the meeting. So we need a motion and a second.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor of adjournment, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed to adjournment? Okay, thank you. Thanks for coming out, folks.
Thank you.